I'm Norman Backrack, and I am an atheist, and I call myself a humanist as well.
My name is Daniel Humphreys. I'm 41. I'm a Roman Catholic deacon ordained last week. I'm studying for the priesthood at Allen Hall Seminary here in London, and all being well, I'll serve in the Diocese of Westminster from this summer. Religion means many things to me. As a Christian, as a Catholic, it is central to my life. It provides teachings, rules if you like, certainly a spirit by which I can live my life and try and live as well as I possibly can. Religion speaks a language that you don't hear anywhere else. So again, it's this idea of the transcendent, of taking ourselves, as it were, out of ourselves and lifting our spirits, lifting our hearts.
Religion means to me the way people in the past thought they ought to make rules to make sure people behaved well. And one way was to say there is a God up there who's watching you all the time and everything you do. I think there isn't really a God. We can explain all the complex things in life as starting from the basic laws of physics. It all seems to work from the basic laws. But the alternative, that there was a God, well, the God has to be infinitely clever and infinitely to work everything out, and I don't see how such a thing could exist. So that's why I'm an atheist.
I can't see a time in human history as we experience it now where there wouldn't be a need for religion and a desire for religion, because we know that both those things exist. And even though many people say, oh, religion is dying, no one goes to church anymore, no one does this, that isn't true. It's just that's people wanting to rubbish our faith and our practice and say it's all going.
I think it would be better without religions, because at the present time there are lots of different religions and people are fighting over tiny differences between the different religions, or they say God said this and God said that. I think without that, people inventing their own morality would be better. In Genesis, someone worked it out that it all took place 4004 BC, and most scientists now of course believe the universe is thousands of millions or billions of years old, so the Genesis story cannot be true. I
believe that God, the world as we experience it, is God's creation. However, creationists, they somewhat miss the whole point of it, which is the point is that God is behind it all, and that when human beings began to think about how are we here, why are we here, who put us here, so on, they came, of course, to the answer which we believe to be God. But then the myths, as it were, that those stories are helpful, but creationist holds them so dogmatically that it gets in the way of, if you like, a creative way of understanding our faith in God as creator.
I don't believe that our mind or our conscious experience can carry on once we are dead, because it needs the brain to make it work, and once the brain stops, all thinking will stop, so there cannot be any conscious existence once you die.
Our faith is that God certainly doesn't abandon us in death. We don't just decay. Our life is changed, but it is not ended. So in God's time, which is into His hands we place ourselves in death, we go to be with Him, and there will be a time when everything is brought back together at the general resurrection, as we call it, where we are risen in Christ's body and soul, will be completely alive with God in heaven. So it's not the end of the story, death. There's a lot happening after death.